Hello, 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 hello. I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be around the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mia, and I am so excited and very happy to be here today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week and you are basically staying busy. Okay. I just want to say thank you for all the subscribers, everyone that's been listening to the videos, and things like that. That are involved. Okay, and today I have a very special message. We're gonna be talking about enemies. That is correct. We're gonna be talking about enemies today. What role do our enemies play in our life? Okay, enemies are basically people that are against us that try to stop us. Okay, for the one that are chosen, that have a like a high calling upon their lives, um they're just not gonna have enemies that is working against them all their lives, but they're also gonna have demons and frenemies and all that stuff. Okay, now you got to remember that there's not gonna be a time in your life where you are not gonna have enemies. Okay, you're gonna have enemies till the day you die, basically. Okay, but the purpose of the enemies in our life are basically they are there to teach us. Okay, to help us grow. Okay, spiritually. And for many of you, one of the your biggest enemies are the one that basically have push you into your destiny. Okay, what you came here to do, what you were meant here to do, what you came here, the meaning, what you were meant here, well, why you came here. Okay, your destiny, um your soul work, your soul purpose. Okay, um and the thing is that our enemies, and this is why, okay, like the what do you call it, the Buddha, Dalai Lama, something like that. He said that, I remember a long time ago when I was listening he said that our enemies are our biggest teacher. Okay, then I didn't get that because I was not awakening. Okay, I was not awake. And also, Yeshua also from his teaching, he talks about loving your enemies. Okay, but what does it really mean to love your enemies? Are we supposed to love our enemies? Okay, are we supposed to be thankful for our enemies? Okay, are we supposed to be grateful to our enemies? Okay, so many of you today, you are where you are in life because of your enemies. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, these are just example I'm giving. There may be someone real life, situation that happened already. Let's just say you are in an apartment building, you live in there, right? And then you have a neighbor that's loud, they're always playing loud music, or could be a neighbor that's always having disagreements, you know what I mean? Or just basically loud. Okay, they're basically disturbing your peace, you see? But for you, when you get into that apartment, you didn't have any plans to leave like earlier than you thought. You had planned to stay there for a while and get yourself together for whatever next thing you're gonna do. Okay, many of you had dreams of just owning your own place. Okay, but by that neighbor became basically a enemy and your thorn. Okay, disturbing your peace. You can't rest when you want to. uh no matter how much you complain to the management or whatever, nothing is never solved. Okay, the situation is never solved. Okay, so what happened is that you end up buying a place sooner than you thought. Okay, it could be a house or condo. Okay, so basically that person that was a thorn on your back basically push you into making that decision. Maybe many of you were undecided, you weren't sure. Maybe you did not wanted that. Okay, but that enemy push you into that, push you into buying your own property so you don't have to deal with noisy neighbors. Okay. It could also be in, like, today, many of you have businesses, okay, that are thriving. Maybe some of you just got into business, okay, and it's because you gotta you gotta thank God. You gotta be grateful and thankful for your enemies, because that job that you were in for a long time, okay, the supreme God and goddess was trying to tell you, hey, I want to bless you with your own business. I want you to have your own business. They've been telling you that for a long time, many of you for many years, but you were just so comfortable in that job or that job position or that company, whatever. Okay, but guess what? God made an enemy, created an enemy, because remember, that person that's your enemy is an assignment as well. They're an assignment to be in your life, okay, to push you into greater things. You see, because many of you have gotten too comfortable in certain situation. So you need these enemies or these frenemies to come, okay, and give you that little push, okay, and because of that disturbance, in your job and things like that, that push you into owning your own business. That push you into making that decision sooner rather than later, okay, and to have that business you always dreamt of. You see, so this is why we cannot hate our enemies. Okay, and what I mean by that also is that I'm not saying for you to be, lovey-dovey with them, go and eat with them, drink with them. And many of your enemies, these people, they try to kill you. These people try to put stuff in your food, stuff in your drink, okay, to destroy you. Okay, so you're not gonna be lovey-dovey with them. You're not gonna sleep in their house and things like that. Or you're not gonna open that door, a door that's been shut already. Okay, but you need to release those people. Okay, the hate that you feel, because there's really nothing to hate. Okay, a lot of you are walking, basically walking into your destiny today is because of an enemy. Okay, and that enemy could have been through came to a like a toxic relationship. Okay, push you into your destiny, your life purpose. Okay, because a lot of time it's not always the devil, even though the devil is busy. Okay, but a lot of time, many time, God will basically use people that are in assignment with God to be part of your life, to direct you into the um right direction. You know, so because I hear a lot of people talking bad about people that done wrong to them, hurt them, but are you looking at the brighter side? Because of these people, you will not be where you are. Okay, because your enemies, they're not only, they're also your greatest teacher. It's because of your enemies, you knew things that you never dreamt of knowing. Okay, if you didn't have an enemy that did so many witchcraft after you, black magic, okay, and when you started learning about what certain people are doing, you're like, what? I never heard of that. You know? But when you go and do your your stuff, like read about certain things, and you're like, wow, I didn't even know this thing existed. You see, a lot of time you don't even know certain things exist till your enemy bring it to your attention. You see, and this is why I'm saying that they are your teacher. You learn from your enemies. Okay, and this is why um when, like me, like when I had that understanding, I was like, wow, you know, and that helped me to release all of my enemies, because when you release them, okay, you release them, God catch those enemies, but not in a good way. Okay, because nobody wants to deal with the universe, nobody wants to deal with the supreme God. Okay, because when karma is after you, it's not a it's no joke. It's no joke. When God is after you for hurting his chosen one, his child, it's not a joke. You see? Okay, so this is why also when the master Yeshua say, to love your enemies, this is the understanding that I got from that, you know? But like I said, we're not gonna open the door back to them. You see? You need to forgive them and release them. For many of you, you got into business because of your enemies push you into that direction, okay? And you're happy with that. But many of you, your business is struggling. And the reason why, you have not released these people, you have not forgiven whoever pushed you, that give you that little push into where you what you into what you're supposed to do into your life work, your destiny, you know. And what do I mean by forgiving them? Well, there are a lot of ways, you can just forgive somebody. You can either pour out your heart, your soul, and ask God to help you forgive this and to release you. You must forgive and release. Okay? If you are able to get in touch with these people, I'm not talking about your private phone. If you have changed your number, maybe you can get touch them to social media. Okay? Even if they don't answer you back, but you have to tell them, listen, I want to thank you so much. Okay? I want to thank you so much for for hurting me, or for whatever, for conspiring against me. Because of you, you put me in position, either I lost my job position or whatever the situation may be. You see? And you have a different attitude about that. Because I know that when you if you could, if you can, tell these people to forgive me, but also I'm forgiving you. Okay? But as long as you say it, but many of them will be like, "Oh no, that's okay. I forgive you." Things like, and a lot of time it's not even true. Okay? And then when you forgive somebody and you ask them to forgive you, and they say they forgive you, when if they don't really mean it, God will reveal this to you. It may not be right away, but somewhere down the line, God will show you that they will not succeed when they say they forgive you. But as long as you did your part, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Okay? You crying over spill milk, or you crying over somebody that left you, that did this to you, did or cheating, whatever. Okay, now you are with somebody that's wonderful. Right now you are with your dream woman. You with your dream man. Okay, you are really with whom God has destined you to be with. God created for you, that spouse that God created for you. Okay? You end up with that person out of chaos, out of from an enemy. You see, that came against you. You see? But instead of being thankful and grateful for what you have right now, for the gift that God has given you, that came through that enemy, but you still upset with these people. Oh no? But so you gotta release those things. You have to release them. It doesn't matter who it is that have done you wrong. Forgive and release. Okay, like I say, if you cannot get in touch with these people, okay, talk to God, and He will show you. He'll help you to release those people, to forgive them and to release them and let them go. Let them go. Because those things no longer serve you anyway. Anyway. Okay? So you're not gonna sit down, you're not gonna be, buddy with these people anymore. Okay, things like that. And also your frenemies. Those are the most dangerous ones. People that act like they like you, or they're all for you, they're supporting you, but deep down inside they can't stand your guts. You know? And this is why you gotta follow your guts instinct. If you feel like something is not right, something is not right. Even though you don't understand it, You can't see it. You can't put your hands on it. Just run. Just leave it alone. Because that is your gut's feeling. That is God talking to you. Okay? Your spirit telling you, don't trust that person. Don't trust that person. Okay? So having enemies in your life is not a bad thing after all. Okay? And because of your enemies, many of you have learned so much. You have grown so much because of these enemies that are on assignment. You see? And many of you had enemies back to back trying to teach you lesson, but many of you did not learn the lesson. Many of you had refused to learn, especially the chosen one, especially those that God had handpicked to do certain mission here on this planet, okay? To raise the frequency of this planet, okay, to get his people out of darkness, okay, to get his people out of certain things, brainwashing, all that stuff that's going on that is blocking, his people. You're gonna have you're gonna have the most enemy, you're gonna have the worst enemies ever. Okay, some of you chosen one, you had the devil after you, still do to this day. Enemies, frenemies, you name it. They were after you the minute you came out into this world. You see, these demons and all that stuff, they've been after you. Okay? But since many of you refused to learn the lessons, God had to make it happen. He had to send the giant, a giant enemies, a frenemy, or whoever it was, to wake you up. You see? Many of you, had attitude problem. Just these are just an example. Okay? Some of you right now, God is dealing with you because of your pride. Your enemies have done certain things, but your enemies have pushed you into where you are today, but you still refuse not only forgive them, but to release them. Many of the business you're starting, it's not prospering, it's not going anywhere, and many of you have loans, you took out loans and things like that, and money you're supposed to give back, and the business is not doing anything to help you make that money to pay back. And the reason why, because you're still holding that person in a negative way in your heart. You see? And God is been trying to tell you for a while now, you need to forgive them. You need to call them and tell them you're sorry. Because when you forgive somebody, you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for the person. You're doing it for yourself because you want to be free. Because when you forgive someone, automatically it's done. You are free from that karma. You are free from that spiritual death, whatever it is. You are free from that. But because of your pride, you see, many of you, God not only used your enemy to push you into having your own business, but now God is dealing with you because of your pride. You see, your pride. Till you call that person and ask them to forgive you, it doesn't matter if they have done you wrong. Because many of you know that person have done you wrong. They should be calling you. No, they're not gonna do that. You see? But God is working with you on your pride. Either to call or contact that person, however which way. Okay? So you can release them. Many of you cannot even go to God and ask God for forgiveness for that person because of your pride. And God is dealing with you on that. Okay, and this is why the business you're starting it's not going anywhere. Okay, it's not prospering. You're not getting any profit from that. Okay, because you still have blockages. Because when you don't forgive it and let go, you're creating blockages. That's what you're doing. And when you have blockages in your energy field, that can really affect your finances in a big way. In a big way. So be grateful and thankful for your enemies. Not only they are your teacher, but they're also your spiritual promoter. And what I mean by that, yeah, the spiritual promoter. Because of them, you are walking in your destiny. Because of them, you are because of them, they help you to to grow spiritually, grow. You gain knowledge, a lot of knowledge from your enemies, and this is what I mean by spiritual promotion. They, in that way, they promote you spiritually. They help you grow spiritually. You see, and because for the one that have dealt with a lot of spiritual stuff in your life, from family members and things like that, you learn a lot of things from these things because of your enemies. You see, and you probably be like, oh my goodness, how did these people know about these things? You know, because like when you were walking around, you were spiritually asleep. You were not awakened to the divine. You were not awakened to your true calling. Okay, you used to go around hurting other people. It could have been intentionally. It could not. Maybe it wasn't intentionally. You know your situation, but you were good at that, hurting other people, putting other people down, treating other people like they were nothing. And guess what? God sent a giant enemy into your life that treated you the same way you treated all these people. And that really hurt your feelings. And that was the point of your awakening. Okay? Because that enemy made you take a good look at yourself. Okay? You went into a reflection moment. You reflected back. You see? Because without your enemies, there wouldn't be no spiritual growth. Okay? There wouldn't, without your enemy, there would be no lessons learned. People that are for you, that you can learn from these people. Oh, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that when God wants to get his job done, his dirty job done, he uses your enemy. He uses the devil. He uses demons to get his dirty jobs done. And many of you had pushed the supreme God into that position. He had to do that because the same way, like, and the word of God tell, like, when he was trying to teach Job certain things, you see, he even hired the devil to do that. You see, many of you, it was God all along. It was not God in every situation, every bad thing that happened to your life, all the hell that you went through. But most of the time it was God. But he did not take your life. You see? And it's because of the supreme goddess and the supreme God. You are here today. You are able to tell others about your story. You have a testimony to tell people that are willing to hear. You have a testimony to share. You see? And the chosen one, or the one that suffered the most. You have suffered so much. You even said that what you went through, you wouldn't even wish it on your enemies. All the stuff you went through, it was not in vain. So this is why we have to be grateful and thankful. You see? Because once we have that understanding, even though at that time our enemies was truly against us, they were truly trying to destroy us. But it was for our own good. It was for our own good, for those that have survived, and many of you did not make it. But you look back and say, oh my goodness, this is for my own good. You see, many of you, the enemies will never come near you ever again because you have paid your due. Even though you will always have an enemy, but they will never be able to attack you. They will never be able to hurt you again because you know better now. And because of that, the universe is on your side. The Holy Spirit is protecting you. Okay? Because of that. Many of you today, you know, you are healers. Okay? You are prophets. You are able to heal people. Medicine man, medicine woman. It's because God has kept you. So, guys, I hope this message was helpful to you. And you will start looking at things in a whole different ways, you know? And like I say, your enemies or they're not your friends, but they are your greatest teacher and will continue to be. And they are the one that will push you into where you need to be into your destiny. But remember, God, destiny is a gift from God. But if you railroad a different route, if you lost your way in life, God, sometimes the supreme goddess and God, they have to use these people to get you back on track. Thank you guys. Everything you need to know about me will be in the description box below. And I want to thank you so much. And I'll be seeing you on my next video. This is Mina. My name is Mia. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.